We've got Merritt Centennials head coach and GM Luke Pierce with us once again for our weekly recap. Luke, thanks so much for taking the time to chat here this morning.
My pleasure, Brian.
So pretty busy weekend once again for you guys. Second straight time that you've got 3 games in basically 2.5 days. Let's start with Friday night in Prince George, a game where you guys battled back from a 2-0 deficit, sent it to overtime, only to fall in the second extra frame.
Yeah, it was a game. I think the first period was a little sloppy. Maybe has a little bit to do with the long day of travel, but we missed some pretty nice chances in the first that could have definitely gave us a jump there. But I'll give the guys a little bit of credit there. They showed some resiliency and battled back to tie it up, and unfortunately, we weren't able to get the extra one in overtime there.
Now on Saturday night, a similar situation. I guess the goal differential was 1 on each side there, but another double overtime loss in Quesnel.
Yeah, it was a game I felt that we pretty much controlled, and again, really kind of the theme of our weekend was not being able to capitalize on our opportunities, and we let Quesnel kind of hang around, and then again in the extra frame, or the double extra frame there, the lack of urgency, I guess. A nice goal on their part, but a game that I thought we definitely should have had.
And then how about on Sunday, back to Prince George for that one, and ended up being a 3-1 loss, although you guys played pretty well in the third period there, but wasn't able to bury other than the one goal by Dustin LeBrun, and you come away from the weekend with 2 of a possible 6 points.
Yeah, it was a pretty disappointing end of the weekend. I felt that in all 3 games we controlled the majority of play, and on Sunday I think the case we were up against a really good goaltender, and didn't show that extra little bit of determination and grit to capitalize again. And it was kind of a summation of our whole weekend, the way that third period played out, where chance after chance without being able to score, and we come away with only 2 points out of 6 very valuable ones there.
And it really seems like it's almost like there's a killer instinct missing there. When you look at the standings, you guys in the last 10 games, pretty respectable, just 3 regulation losses, but 5 of the losses have come in overtime. So you've got 5 points there, 3 wins as well. But, really, is it something where there's a killer instinct lacking maybe for your club?
Well, it seems to me that we have to have some sort of incentive at the moment to win games, and I thought some of our better players over the weekend were guys who really had something to prove, and Peyton Schaefer was very good for us all weekend, and Sean Macdak and Dylan Playfair coming back from suspension, who wanted to show that they still can contribute to our lineup. We're very good, and those are all guys that have some sort of extra motivation to play well, and the rest of our guys, for some reason, just didn't really bring their A games for the whole weekend, and it's a little bit puzzling to us as staff as to why we aren't eager to pick up points when we know we can, and that's something that we're going to have to address here.
And, at what point, how do you address that? You watch the games, save for the part that, of course, you've got ejected from that game on Sunday, but you've seen these games, you've seen what these guys can do, you've tried different methods. Where do you go from here?
Well, I think it's, partly up to us and establishing the fact that we need to find a mix of players that, is going to be self-motivated and driven to win games on a consistent basis. I think our effort has been there. We outshot all 3 games. We outshot the teams and limited the chances given up to, less than 30 shots. And just that extra drive to finish games off when we can wasn't there, and that's something the players have to find internally. And us as a staff, we've said we're going to give them, the rest of the month here leading up to the December 1st carding deadline to have them prove to us that they're the group that we think they are, and if not, then there might have to be some changes made.
So that's kind of that incentive that you're looking at, the December 1st deadline. The guys know that there is a certain cut-down point there. Now, is there a silver lining here in the fact that you've got these games where you're going to get a single point with the overtime losses, and the fact that you are putting up more than 30 shots a night, and the fact that it just seems that the offense isn't there for the last, at least 3 games anyway?
Well, I guess if you look deep enough, you can always find a positive somewhere in there. But we talked about on Saturday that giving up those extra points is the difference between finishing 7th and 5th. And last year, if we would have finished in the 5th spot, I think we definitely would have got to the first round of the playoffs. So they become very valuable points come the end of the year, and I thought those were games that there was no need for them to go into overtime. We should have had the games wrapped up a lot earlier than that. And I think, you look at the game in Westside where we were able to win 5-3 in regulation, and we had players with, chipped teeth and guys bleeding from high sticks and all that kind of stuff. And that's been missing here the last few games, that extra will to do whatever it takes to make sure you're capitalizing. The chances are always nice to have, but you've got to start finishing on them at some point.
Well, and you bring up that point about that game in Westside. You were shorthanded in terms of a lineup as well.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's a little bit puzzling to us. Is, and again, it seems to be that when you put this team up against adversity, they seem to flourish. And whether it's being down a goal or down 2, we really turn it on. And when we're shorthanded, we play phenomenal, and that's a good sign. But at some point, we need to learn how to play when the odds are stacked in our favor, and not always just be battling against them and proving our determination. So that's something that we've got to sort out here in the near future.
Now, another big weekend coming up, another 3-game weekend. You've got Vernon coming in here Friday night, Westside on Saturday, and then again another matchup with the Quesnel Millionaires. I mean, is any one of these weekends more important than the other, or are they just all as important in getting the 2 points?
Yeah, I think at this point they're all just as important. We need to really start to put some wins in the win column here and separating ourselves a little bit to allow us a little bit of a easier stretch down the homecoming there. But it'd be nice to finally finish off the set of 3-3s here, and be nice to be at home again and face teams that we seem to play